and I'm back because I've had several people say that I needed to share this story. And I wanted to add one of the things that Donald was consistent with every Sunday till the last one I saw him. He would always say, "Hi, Lisa Salvaggio." He loved my last name, but what he loved more was that he was able to reach someone who didn't believe. And that name just reminded me of my background and my parents who loved me, but didn't have the truth either. But the story that several people wanted me to share. So when Gary asked me to marry him, we called the church. We had to meet Donald. And at that point, I only really knew him on Sunday mornings. Him preaching and me scribbling those notes and passing them on to him. Never really had a conversation with him. So I was so nervous because in my mind, I thought that Donald was going to take one look at me, someone who only used the table of contents when she tried to find something in the Bible. I was just not good enough for Gary. That was my thought. And so I was nervous about meeting him in his office. And so the day came where Tony Kitchen, she brought us to his office. And we stood in front of an empty, dark office. And Tony comes back around because Donald's not in the office. And she said, "Oh, I am so sorry, but he's gone fishing." And at that moment, I got really bowed up. My eyes started getting used to the dark office. And I saw in the corner, there was this saddle. And I thought, there is no way that a man who skipped me to go fishing and has a saddle in his office is going to tell me that I cannot marry Gary Gilbert. And so I was all set to just tell him that one day when we did finally meet. And then when I did, he was so apologetic and he loved me. He did not tell me that I wasn't good enough for Gary. And so that began my love relationship with Donald, that he had my heart at that moment. And so as we stood there sat there in his office and talked about wedding plans and all that, we said we wanted just a little ceremony because we were both older and wanted to just, have it real simple. He said, "Well, that's fine. But there are only really two reasons why people come to church now, for weddings and for funerals. And for both of those, I preach the gospel. So what would you like to do now, Lisa?" I said, "We're going to invite everybody." So we filled the church with all those Catholics, from the Italians all the way to those who just thought they were. So thank you so much for letting me add that to my story.